one of the trends that we've been noticing as we've been talking to everybody. I think Amy said the average age is 24
Hmm.
on this team. What's that like to be with just such a young team and for it to be a brand new team as well?
Yeah, I think the like the youth of the team and being a new expansion team, I think there's so much um, potential and so much like opportunity, which I think you feel in the locker room. We've only been together for a couple of days, but there's that buzz, that excitement, which I think is really special. There's a lot of laughing and just like a lightness that I think is also um, something that's really special. Like you can't fake that. So to hold on to that and use that throughout the season, I think will be really cool. So I think we've got a good group. I'm sure everybody says that in the beginning, but I like this group of people. And I think even though we're young, like they're very talented, very smart, like well rounded young women, which I think will carry us very far.
You're a striker, right? Or forward.
Striker, outside back. I've been playing outside back, but came into the league as an outside forward.
Do you prefer one or the other? Or
We'll have to see.
where you think you might be used for the role?
I don't know. I've had conversations with Amy, and we're kind of like, we'll see. Um, yeah, I came in from Duke playing outside forward. Never had played outside back until like my second year in the league. Was hating it for like a good year and a half, and then I was like, oh, like this is kind of fun. Like I can create, I can develop, I can like develop play and get involved in that way, which I think is awesome. Like, and to help with the defense, but attacking is so fun too. So I think like wherever I fit best with the team is where obviously Amy and V will be having me play. So.
Yeah, so you mentioned you talked a little bit with Amy about where you might fit. What have you heard from her as far as like the philosophy of the team, like the style of play maybe they're looking to have, or what
Yeah,
you guys want to accomplish on the field?
yeah, I think it's still early days. Like we haven't. Tomorrow will be our first like full on the field session. But I mean, in the team meetings that we've had so far, it's been an overarching iteration of grit and a championship mindset. Like, and I think those are two of the biggest things that will help this team persevere. Because of course, like we're young, we're new. Like, there's going to be so many challenges, so many ups and downs, and I think um, Amy, like knowing her as a soccer player and how competitive and focused and professional she was, like that's what she's looking for in each and every one of us, and building that foundation on top of incredible like technical talent and tactical execution, like in looking to break teams down, be relentless, like um, learning to adapt under pressure. Like I think like we have a lot of speed and we have a lot of strength, but I think like the biggest component is going to be our grit and like our tactical execution. So.
You talked about the talent and the potential in the locker room right now. As a veteran coming in, how do you envision your role in helping the team reach that?
Yeah, I think like in terms of what Amy has been kind of sharing with us and setting a standard, I think as a veteran, like myself, Efi, Murph, like Poe, like Hannah Eberts, like a lot of these players who have been playing for a while, know what it takes to be in a successful locker room, and I think it's going to be kind of our responsibility to continue to hold that accountability amongst the group and really like continue to maintain that standard, but also in that like being someone who's approachable, who's there for a shoulder for people to lean on. I know how hard this league can be and how intense it can be, and it's a very long season, especially coming out of college. Like, um, people are going to need each other, and people are going to need someone to lean on. So I hope that I'm that for people off the field and on the field, like continuing to hold that standard and to give the energy that the team needs on the team.
You talk about that, how long the season is, difficult and how challenging. We've discussed just how young this team is overall. You've got a lot of players coming in. They're going to be their first professional experience. So how can you, with your experience, help them learn and get through the season and balance the on the field and in-game work ethic with the off of the field, still living your life?
I love that question because that like is the question that I feel like every player has to kind of learn their routine on their own, but that's been what I've been focusing on for my like 7 years. And I think um, developing that work life balance has been so important to me. Like I've been able to really get involved in my passions off the field. So I'm going to really encourage the girls to really enjoy and get to know Salt Lake City, get to know the community, get to know where they are, get involved with passions that um, aren't just on the soccer field, because that really helps you when you're able to put in all of your focus on the field and then go home and be there's a whole other aspect of you, and remembering that is really important throughout a year. um, I know I'm so excited to get to know Salt Lake City and like all of the hiking and like outdoor activities. My fiance and I are like dying to like get into everything that is out here in the West, because we're both from the East Coast. But yeah, I think like um, that balance is what keeps a team together, and also finding that common thread that helps you like push through those hard times. So I think like because it's such a young team, and everybody's new to the city, like we don't really know as many people. Like I think there will be great opportunities for team building. We're actually going and doing a team outing tonight, so having more of those moments of just like even informal gatherings, getting to know each other, making that effort to continue to look after one another throughout the year will really help in those moments where things are getting hard. So
Brought it up right there and a little bit, and kind of dovetails into what I want to ask you, because you made pretty big news about a year or so ago when you took the policy and everything. How did that year of dedicated to your mental health make you come back better, stronger,
yeah,
whatever it was? Like how did you kind of utilize that year?
yeah, I think like it was an interesting year for me because I don't think anybody goes into a year being like I need to like take a step back. It was a decision that I made with the help, thankfully, of my fiance, my family. Like they were really like, you gotta take care of yourself. Like it's okay to take a step back, and I think it's really hard for professional athletes to do that. So once I realized that that was like a real opportunity, I really looked at that time um, as like, what does my life look like without soccer? Because I have haven't had that since I was like what 5 years old, basically, like literally never. So I was um, I wasn't looking at that break being like, okay, I just need to like it's an injury for a month or something, and then I'll come back. I was really taking it like, let's evaluate how I feel after a month. Do I need more time? Let's evaluate how I feel after another month. Like, do I need more time? And I think I was really looking at it like, what does your life look like without soccer? I think I stepped away being like, I don't know if I'll play again. Like, I don't know if I'll go back on the field again. And I'm really happy that I came from it from that perspective, because I was then really able to rediscover like my love for it. Um, I ended up going back to Gotham knowing that I wanted to finish the season out, and I wanted um, to have closure from a chapter that I felt was really important. Um, and what I didn't realize is when I went back to training and when I went back to be around the team, I loved it. I loved it in a way that I hadn't. I felt fresh. I felt light. Like during my time off, outside of like pursuing my other passions, I was an environmental science and policy major. So I was doing work in that area, spending more time with friends and family in that time. But when I came back to the field, like I felt light, I felt fresh, my touch was sharp, and I'm like, oh yeah, like I missed this, like, and I missed feeling like this. Um, and so I think, yeah, like I just feel like my perspective on the league is a lot different. I felt the way I describe it a lot is like I've always known that this is an incredible like opportunity, but for a long time I felt like in trying to climb the ladder and trying to get to the next level, I felt like I was always um, running out of air, running out of steam, and trying to keep up with myself and my own ambitions. What I realized is that this is all in my control. This is my life, and what I achieve on a given day is something that I should always be incredibly proud of, because I'm always putting in my best work. Um, and to that end, like I just I started to see this as like an opportunity, not a burden. because it was feeling like a burden for a long time. And that weight and that pressure that I was putting on myself that felt external but was very much internal. Um, it kind of reminded me that I was like, this is an amazing opportunity that I get to play professionally and that I get to pursue something that I love with and do it with a team and do it in a team environment and compete at the highest level and like be the best version of myself. That's like so awesome. And it's an incredible opportunity to continue to keep playing. So
I love that answer. And that mental health league is kind of one of the areas I think that where the NWSL has grown maybe the most in terms of off the field. And
yeah.
it seems like there are a lot of Royals fans that are going to be coming back now from 2020, 21 when the team left into, in some ways, maybe a totally different league. Can you?
Yeah, wow.
I don't want to be here all day, but can you
Oh my
give
gosh.
like a little bit of a primer, like how different is this league from maybe when the last iteration of
Wow. That's so funny because so the Royals, their first year was my first year in the league too. And so I totally felt like thrown into like, I'm like, what is going on? Like there's just absolute chaos. And then of course we were here in 2020 for the Challenge Cup. And that year in itself was an incredible turning point, like for the country, but also our league. 2021, it was like a lot changed in terms of accountability in the league and creating more safeguards and infrastructure to protect players and creating a safer environment altogether. So I think those are the biggest steps that like the league and each of the clubs have made. I think also the level of investment from all of the clubs is bigger, and I think that's really cool to see because now we're starting to see like clubs want to attract players and be like, you want to play in this market, we're putting in the investment, we're going to take care of you, like, and we're going to do things the right. I think like the clubs that try to do things the right way and taking care of their players and taking care of their fans and giving back to the community um, is going to attract people. And players talk, like we all know what's going on at all of these clubs, so it's like I think that's what really attracted me to this project. I'm really excited to see what our ownership is doing with our training facility, with bringing Amy in and like such incredible leadership. I just think like there's so much like unbridled opportunity here. So, but yeah, it's a new league. It's a new landscape, but I think they're going to be really proud of how far it's come and how we're still moving forward and we're by no means done. So, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, Imani.
Thanks, guys.